So, before I start this video, I want to make it clear that this video is more of an unofficial addendum to two videos talking about sensor size and aspect ratio, respectively. The first being tomorrow's filmmaker's video on aspect ratios, and Media Division's video on sensor/film size. I highly recommend you go check out their videos before watching the rest of mine, because they cover key information that I will not be explaining in this video. So, after watching these videos, I realized that while both do a great job explaining what aspect ratios and sensor sizes mean, they don't really get into how they are related to one another. You see, it's sort of the old adage about how a square is always a rectangle, but a rectangle is not always a square, which is funny considering aspect ratios for film are literally just that. What I'm getting at is this: any cinema camera you choose today, whether it's digital or film, comes with a set sensor size that it will shoot in. Going off the more traditional sensor sizes, that ranges from 16mm all the way up to 70mm, with Super 35mm being the most popular and widespread of them all. But here's where things get hard to understand. You can pretty much use any aspect ratio you want on any sensor sizes, within reason of course. You can do this because we are now in an age where the sensor size and aspect ratio do not have to be set and locked during the capture of the initial image. To clarify, I'm going to use David Fincher's Gone Girl as an example. Gone Girl was shot using the Red Epic Dragon, which has a Super 35mm sensor, but the final movie is presented in the 2:35:1 aspect ratio. Traditionally, you would use an anamorphic lens to squeeze the image onto the sensor, and then stretch it back out using editing software to achieve the wider aspect ratio. But the drawback of this process is it's not only permanent, but you have to use specific lenses that are tailor-made for this effect, thus losing flexibility in the variety of shots you can achieve. This is where the practice of matting comes into play. A matte, in this case, is where you cut off parts of the image in order to resize the original shot into a new aspect ratio. With the advent of digital cameras and editing software, this practice has become extremely widespread and is in use on the Hollywood and indie levels of the film industry. This effectively gives filmmakers complete control over how they want their films to be experienced, which is best showcased in Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel, where they change from the 4:3 to 1:85:1 and 1:39:1 aspect ratios, all within the same film. Anyways, I went through all this explanation to get across that sensor size and aspect ratio are both separated and intertwined to one another, probably more so now than they have ever been in any other time period in the history of cinema. So, what does all this mean? Well, it just means that we are given yet another avenue to explore story with, whether it's presented in a square, a rectangle, or any other combination of four-angled boxes out there. It's all up to us now. We just have to decide which one fits.